along with Mike and his faithful sidekick, Freddie. Yes, take it away, Mike.
Oh, Freddie is actually feeding me my lines. There are 2 days left today on the Nexus Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It's collecting every issue from Capital through First through Dark Horse and some material that no one's ever seen before, at least a lot of people haven't. We hope to incorporate some of the dude's latest books and some of my latest crowdfunded books in, as well. This is a compilation that Graffiti Designs put out many years ago. Now, many people who have read Nexus, especially faithful followers, know that it deals with universal themes. I have always drawn the story ideas for Nexus not only from news but from history. And one of the reasons is human nature does not change. When Nexus goes out to execute mass murderers, some people say, well, that's not realistic. Well, it may not be realistic that a lone vigilante would take it upon himself to execute mass murderers, although it's been a recurring theme in history and in literature for many years. There's a book called Rogue Male. It's about a big game hunter during World War II who sets out to assassinate Hitler. He's English. When he fails, he has to go into hiding, and he lives in a burrow in the woods in England for the longest time. But that's just one example. When I say human nature doesn't change, I mean it's a natural tendency for people to seek power over others, which is one of the things that makes the United States unique, and that we put the primacy of the individual first, which is why it is the most successful nation on earth. Nexus studies history. He is aware of that, and he's tried to do that on his home planet of Ilum. If you start at the very beginning and you read all the way through, which you will be able to do if you get the omnibus, you'll see themes that have concerned popular literature and history since time immemorial. One of those themes, as I said, is the tendency of a certain class of people who will do anything to gain power over others. Plato warned about it. Cicero warned about it. Orwell warned about it. People are still warning about it. But if people don't study history, they're not apt to learn from history. When we put the book out, you're going to see recurring themes, but variations on those themes. The stories are often bleak, but many of them are funny. Sometimes there's humor rising in the bleakest story, which is my belief that any story, no matter how grim, benefits from a touch of humor. The way, if you have a can of white paint and you put in 1 drop of black paint, believe it or not, this is true, and you can look it up, that 1 drop of black paint will make the white paint seem whiter. Shakespeare understood this. Even Schindler's List has a couple of jokes. So when you see humor rising out of the bleakest situation, it's not to denigrate the situation. I never do that. The situation is serious. What it is what it is. But human nature, and sometimes alien nature, which I am forced to imagine, adds humor to any situation, because humor is often the result of shock and the juxtaposition of the sacred and the profane, which means that the funniest humor arises from irony and things that don't belong together. Getting back to the omnibus, we're very excited. We've surpassed most of our funding goals. If you've always wanted to know about this series, now is your chance to get the whole thing. The first book is going to be 864 pages long. And I promise you that once you start reading, you won't be able to stop.
Great. And do you remember what day and time it ends? Or?
Thursday midnight.
Okay, so this is Tuesday. This is July 29th. So this Thursday, July 31st, is that right?
Yes.
It ends, okay. And so where can they find it? They can go, Kickstarter, Nexus Onnibus?
You can go to Kickstarter, look up Nexus Onnibus. You can go to Indiegogo, Nexus Onnibus, and we will be on Fund My Comic for a week after the regular campaigns end. You can also find it at my website, baroncomics.com. And if you want to receive the newsletter, please register when you visit that site. When you go there, you'll see all the books I've crowdfunded going back over 3 years, including Thin Blue Line, Private American, and Florida Man. And just to add a little dessert, many of you read Bronze Star and are anticipating the next issue. Pat has finished illustrating the entirety of the book, and it's the next book we're going to offer.
Right, very good. Any sage words of advice here?
I've been telling you people to always take a hat for years. How many of you are doing it?
Any other sage words of advice?
Always carry a pad and a pen.
Okay, very good. You want to hand here on to Freddie?
By all
do you
means.
have any words of advice for us? And there's Bob. Bob. We have thunderstorms there, so we've got the thunder jacket on him. He's kind of scared. All right, well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate all the updates. Bye-bye.